Okay, so you might have caught the news today.
Yeah.
Pretty surprising.
What's that?
The CEO of Novo Nordisk, Lars Frugaard Jørgensen, he's stepping down.
Wow. Okay. Novo Nordisk. That's huge.
Exactly. I mean, this isn't some small company, and he's overseeing this period of just incredible growth.
Right. Massive growth. So, yeah, it definitely makes you stop and think, what's actually going on there?
For sure.
I mean, Novo Nordisk, they've got such a long history, right? Back to what, 1923?
Yeah, that's right. Started out focusing on diabetes.
Mm-hmm. But now their whole mission is much broader, driving change against serious chronic diseases.
And they're absolutely global. What is it, like 77,000 employees?
Something like that, yeah. 77,400 in 80 countries, and their products are everywhere, 170 countries.
So yeah, an announcement like this, it definitely sends ripples out.
No question.
So naturally, when a CEO like that departs, it sparks a ton of questions.
Yeah.
And that's really what we want to dig into today. Our mission here is to understand the why, the reasons behind this leadership change.
Yeah, what does it mean for the company going forward?
Exactly. What are the signals? And we're basing this all on the information that Novo Nordisk itself put out.
Right. So the source for this deep dive is the official press release, came out today, May 16th, 2025, from Novo Nordisk Investor Relations.
Okay, so right from the horse's mouth.
Pretty much. It's
Yeah.
their official statement on it all.
All right, let's get into the core of it then. Lars Frugaard Jørgensen is stepping down.
Stepping down as CEO.
But the wording is interesting. It says it's a mutual agreement with the board.
Mm-hmm. Mutual. Which can mean a few things, of course.
Right. And he's not just walking out the door today. There's a transition period.
Yeah, he's staying on while they search for a successor, which seems pretty standard for an orderly transition.
Makes sense. But the backdrop to this, that's what's really fascinating.
You mean his track record?
Yeah, his 8 years as CEO.
Yep.
He started back in January 2017.
And during that time, I mean, wow. Sales, profits, the share price.
Almost tripled, right?
Yeah, almost tripled across the board. That's quite a run.
It really is. That kind of performance usually doesn't lead to a CEO leaving,
Well, not unless something else is going on.
And the press release itself, it actually credits, the company's strategic clarity, strong products, experienced team during his time.
Right, they acknowledge the success.
So yeah, the big question hangs there. With that kind of record, why change now? What's the turning point?
Well, this is where it gets interesting. The announcement specifically mentions recent market challenges.
Okay, market challenges.
Yeah, and it also explicitly points to a decline in the company's share price since around the middle of 2024.
Ah, okay. So recent performance dip.
It seems like it. It strongly suggests that maybe the trajectory wasn't quite meeting expectations recently, or maybe compared to that earlier massive growth.
Could be increased competition, or maybe just market shifts.
Could be either, or both. The release doesn't detail the exact challenges, but it links them to this decision.
And there's another really big piece to this puzzle, isn't there? The Novo Nordisk Foundation.
Oh, absolutely. You can't really talk about Novo Nordisk without talking about the foundation. Their influence is enormous.
Can you break that down a bit? How much control do they actually have?
Sure. So they own Novo Holdings AS, which is their investment arm.
Right.
And through that, they hold about 28% of Novo Nordisk's actual stock, the share capital.
Okay, 28%. Significant, but maybe not controlling on its own.
But here's the key part, the voting rights. They control 77% of the votes.
77%. Okay, that's basically decisive control.
Exactly. So while they own just over a quarter of the company financially, their voting power means they have the final say on major decisions. Board members, strategy, things like that.
And the press release says the foundation was involved here.
Directly involved.
Yeah.
It states the foundation board initiated a dialogue with the Novo Nordisk board.
About what specifically?
About an accelerated CEO succession, their words.
Accelerated. Okay.
And they also said they wanted increased representation on the Novo Nordisk board itself.
So putting it together,
Yeah.
the foundation sees these market challenges, maybe the share price dip, and they think, okay, time for a potentially faster change at the top, and we want a closer seat at the table.
That seems to be the implication, yes. It suggests they felt a need for maybe a different approach or just wanted more direct oversight given the current climate.
It's not just about the numbers then, but maybe about the foundation's long-term view or comfort level.
Could be. And the press release really emphasizes that this decision, the CEO succession, was a joint conclusion.
So not the foundation dictating
Yeah.
necessarily.
Well, the wording suggests collaboration. It says it was a conclusion reached by the Novo Nordisk board and Lars Furregard Jørgensen himself.
Okay.
Taking into account, the market situation, the share price, and the foundation's stated wishes. So it sounds like everyone agreed this was the path forward.
Which is probably smoother than a forced exit.
Definitely. A mutual agreement is usually presented that way.
And we're already seeing that foundation influence becoming more concrete, right, with Lars Ribby and Sørensen.
Yes, that's a really key move. Sørensen is the current chair of the Novo Nordisk Foundation.
And what's his new role?
He's been appointed effective immediately as an observer to Novo Nordisk's board meetings.
An observer. So not a voting member yet, but he's in the room.
Exactly. He's there, listening, participating in discussions, and it's a very swift move.
And he's not exactly new to Novo Nordisk itself, is he?
Far from it. This is what makes it particularly significant. Sørensen was the CEO of Novo Nordisk AS before Jørgensen.
Oh, right. For how long?
For 16 years. From
Yeah.
2000 all the way to the end of 2016.
16 years. So he knows the company inside out.
Intimately. And the plan isn't just for him to be an observer long term. The release says he intends to be nominated as a full board member at the AGM in 2026.
Wow. Okay, so the foundation chair, a former long-serving CEO, is stepping directly back into the company's governance structure.
It signals a very hands-on approach from the foundation now, bringing that deep historical experience right back to the boardroom table.
What did the current board chair, Helge Lund, have to say about all this?
Lund put out a statement, as you'd expect. He thanked Jørgensen, of course, called his contributions outstanding.
Standard pleasantries?
Well, yes, but he also specifically mentioned Jørgensen's respected leadership, his values, his vision. Seems genuine enough.
Did he comment on the strategy? Is that changing too?
Ah, good question. Lund made a point of saying the company's core strategy remains unchanged.
Unchanged. That's important.
Very. He expressed the board's confidence in the current plans. So the message seems to be new leader, same fundamental direction, at least for now.
And did he mention the foundation?
Yes, he acknowledged the foundation's perspectives, said the board appreciated them, and that they look forward to working with Lars Ribby and Sørensen.
So trying to present a united front.
Seems like it, emphasizing continuity and collaboration.
What about Jørgensen himself? Did he release a personal statement?
He did. He expressed his pride in what was achieved, credited his team, the employees' dedication.
Pretty standard departure statement.
Yeah, professional, appreciative, focused on the collective effort during that big growth phase.
Okay. Maybe just stepping back for a second. For anyone listening who isn't, steeped in pharma, can we quickly recap what Novo Nordisk actually does, their main mission?
Sure. So their stated goal is to drive change to defeat serious chronic diseases.
Chronic diseases. Diabetes is the big one for them historically.
Absolutely. That's their heritage, where they started. But they've expanded significantly into other areas, like obesity, rare blood disorders, cardiovascular disease.
And how do they approach that?
Through scientific breakthroughs, R&D, expanding access to their medicines, and working on prevention and cures. That's the official mission statement, essentially.
Got it. And the foundation, which clearly plays such a big role here, what are its main goals, beyond just owning Novo Nordisk stock?
Right. It's a philanthropic foundation set up way back in 1924.
Philanthropic.
Yeah. Its vision is broad, improve health, but also the sustainability of society and the planet.
Okay.
And its mission focuses on funding research and innovation. Key areas are cardiometabolic diseases, like diabetes and obesity.
Makes sense, given the company link.
Exactly. Also infectious diseases. And, interestingly, supporting the green transition, so environmental sustainability, too.
So their interests are wider than just the company's profits.
Much wider. But, obviously, the success and dividends from Novo Nordisk help fund those philanthropic activities.
And just to hammer home the control point again, 28% share capital, but that massive 77% of the voting rights through Novo Holdings.
Yeah, it bears repeating because it's such a defining feature. It explains why the foundation's wishes carry so much weight in decisions like this CEO change. It's not your typical shareholder structure.
No, definitely not. It's a unique setup where the foundation's goals are really deeply woven into the company's governance.
Precisely.
Now, for anyone wanting to listen in for more details, there's an investor call happening, right?
Yes, later today, May 16th. It's at 14.0000 A Eastern Time.
That's right, 8 a.m. Eastern. And you can find the link to listen on the investor section of the Novo Nordisk website, novonordisk.com.
So that call might shed more light, give some more nuance, maybe?
Probably. You'd expect analysts to ask some pointed questions about the transition, the market challenges, the successor profile. So definitely worth tuning into if you're following this closely.
Okay, good stuff. So let's try and pull this all together. What are the absolute key takeaways from this announcement?
Okay, I'd say point one. CEO Lars Fruergaard Jørgensen is stepping down. It's framed as a mutual agreement.
Right. Influenced by.
Influenced by recent market challenges and that dip in share price since mid-2024, and crucially, by the Novo Nordisk Foundation.
Yeah, the foundation initiated talks about an accelerated succession and wanted more board representation.
Exactly. Point two, Jørgensen isn't leaving immediately. There's a transition period while they search for a new CEO.
Provide some stability, hopefully. And point three. The foundation's influence is becoming more direct, with its chair, the former CEO Lars Rebien Sørensen, immediately joining the board as an observer, aiming for a full seat later.
Signaling closer alignment, potentially tighter control.
That's certainly one interpretation. Closer oversight at the very least.
And if we zoom out, look at the bigger picture here. What kind of broader themes does this whole situation touch on?
Well, it really throws a spotlight on a few things. Corporate governance, for one. Especially in unique structures like this.
Yeah, the power dynamics.
Right, and the sheer influence that major committed shareholders, especially foundations with specific long-term goals, can have. It's not just about quarterly returns for them.
Sure.
And it also just highlights how sensitive even giant pharmaceutical companies are to market shifts, competition, investor sentiment.
Even after years of massive success.
Especially then, perhaps, expectations get very high. So you see how leadership changes can be both a reaction to immediate pressures, but also maybe a signal of subtle shifts in long-term strategy or priorities.
It really leads to an interesting final thought, something for you, the listener, to maybe chew on.
What's that?
Well, think about it. Novo Nordisk had phenomenal success under Jørgensen. Tripled value, basically.
Yeah, undeniable growth.
So, given that track record, but also these current market challenges and the foundation's clear desire for influence, what kind of qualities or priorities might the board, heavily guided by the foundation, be looking for in the next leader?
Interesting question.
Are they looking for someone to simply continue the current path but maybe execute better against headwinds? Or someone with a fundamentally different vision to navigate whatever these challenges are and keep the company dominant in treating chronic diseases? What's the priority now?
Yeah, what's the emphasis? Steady hand or strategic innovator? Or maybe someone particularly adept at managing that complex relationship with the foundation?
Exactly. It definitely makes you think about the evolving pressures in the whole healthcare industry and what it takes to lead these massive, complex organizations today. Something to watch.